Iraqi Dinar today, latest news bringing you another detailed update. And today's story centers on a topic that has been circulating heavily across online Forex circles. Over the past few months, a noticeable shift has taken place within global trading communities. A currency that many casual observers barely discussed a few years ago has suddenly become one of the most talked about subjects among traders online. That currency is the Vietnamese dong, and its unexpected rise in visibility has captured the attention of both newcomers and long-time analysts. As discussions intensify across platforms, many people, especially those who follow emerging markets like the Iraqi Dinar, want to understand why this particular currency has become a central point of conversation. Today, we'll explore the factors behind that surge in attention and break down what's driving the wave of curiosity throughout the Forex community. The first reason the dong has become so widely discussed is the way online communities function in 2025. Traders no longer rely solely on mainstream financial reports to determine what's worth monitoring. Instead, information spreads rapidly through chat groups, forums, and social platforms where charts, comments, and observations move faster than traditional news cycles. Once a currency begins appearing in these conversations, even in a small way, interest can grow quickly. That's what happened with the Vietnamese dong. Minor upticks in volume or visibility led traders to share screenshots, ask questions, and exchange insights. Before long, the dong became a recurring topic in places like Reddit threads, specialized Telegram groups, and discussion sections on major trading websites. None of this automatically indicates a dramatic market shift, but the conversation alone helped elevate the currency into the broader public eye. Another element that contributed to the dong's rising visibility is Vietnam's steady economic progress, which has been observed by analysts for several years. The country has expanded its role in manufacturing, established stronger trade routes, and developed new industrial partnerships with major global companies. These steady improvements, while gradual, often become the foundation for long-term discussions within Forex communities. Many traders prefer to monitor economies showing consistent stability rather than rapid, unpredictable changes. As a result, Vietnam's growth trajectory naturally draws attention. When online discussions merge with factual economic developments, traders begin examining the dong with more curiosity, wondering how the evolving economic landscape may influence its long-term behavior. This doesn't imply any guaranteed outcomes, but it does explain the increasing analytical interest surrounding the currency. The way social platforms amplify even modest signals plays a major role in shaping what traders pay attention to. In today's interconnected trading environment, a single post or chart shared by an influential community member can spark broader conversations. People who may not have been following a currency suddenly begin analyzing it simply because they see others doing the same. This phenomenon occurs across many emerging markets, but the Vietnamese dong has become one of the more pronounced examples. As traders notice others discussing the currency's stability, reforms, or trading volume, they feel compelled to explore what sparked the interest. This chain reaction results in larger audience engagement, ultimately reinforcing the idea that the dong is something worth watching. For communities like those following the Iraqi Dinar, observing how these trends develop is important for understanding how attention forms around emerging currencies. Market psychology also plays a major part in this renewed focus. Traders today not only examine economic indicators, but also pay close attention to community behavior. When certain discussions trend upward, people naturally investigate the topic to understand what's driving the activity. The Vietnamese dong's presence across multiple online platforms created a sense of momentum, even though the currency itself wasn't experiencing dramatic market movements. The increasing dialogue gave traders the impression that something meaningful might be developing behind the scenes, encouraging more engagement and further analysis. The process is less about price swings and more about collective curiosity. This type of psychological domino effect is common in modern Forex communities, where sentiment sometimes shapes interest even faster than official financial reports. Another driver behind this trend is the increased accessibility of economic data related to Vietnam. In recent years, more transparent reporting, clearer economic updates, and broader media coverage have made it easier for traders to follow the country's financial developments. This transparency contributes to a sense of confidence among online analysts who prefer working with verifiable information. When traders feel that they can observe and confirm trends for themselves, they pay closer attention to the associated currency. The availability of consistent reporting also encourages long-term monitoring, which naturally increases discussion frequency within online groups. Because of this, the dong has gradually become a recurring subject among people studying the region's economic performance. It's also important to consider how comparative analysis plays into the growing conversation. When a currency begins trending, traders often compare it with other developing markets to understand similarities, differences, and potential future paths. The Vietnamese dong has become a reference point for many traders examining emerging Asian currencies. They compare economic reforms, trade development, inflation management, and other key indicators across different nations. This comparative approach allows investors to evaluate broader regional shifts rather than focusing on a single market. For those who follow the Iraqi Dinar, these comparisons provide context on how discussions in one emerging market can influence perceptions in others. The dong's role in these cross-currency evaluations further amplifies its visibility within the global trading community. Influencers and content creators have also played a notable role in increasing awareness. When online search trends show rising interest in a currency, creators often produce content to meet that demand. This results in more YouTube videos, live stream discussions, and detailed breakdowns appearing across social platforms. Once these videos accumulate views, they encourage even more people to join the conversation, fueling a cycle of engagement. This dynamic doesn't require any dramatic economic changes. It is primarily driven by community interest and the desire for information. As long as viewers continue searching for updates, creators continue producing content, keeping the Vietnamese dong in public discussion. This cycle is one of the strongest forces shaping modern Forex attention patterns. Institutional monitoring is another factor worth mentioning. When a currency receives growing attention from retail traders, larger financial organizations sometimes observe these trends to understand emerging sentiment and potential areas of interest. Even if institutions are not making significant moves, their awareness alone reinforces the idea that the currency deserves monitoring. Retail traders often interpret institutional attention as validation, which adds to the ongoing conversation. This combination of retail and institutional curiosity creates a loop where both sides observe each other's behavior, contributing to increased discussion. In the case of the Vietnamese dong, this dynamic has helped elevate its position within Forex communities worldwide. Geopolitical stability and government policy adjustments have also influenced the dong's visibility. Vietnam has implemented several reforms aimed at promoting economic growth, improving infrastructure, and attracting foreign investment. While these reforms unfold gradually, they signal long-term direction to analysts. Traders appreciate environments where policy decisions appear consistent and predictable, as these conditions support stable market development. When traders believe a country is taking steps to strengthen its financial systems, they naturally monitor the associated currency more closely. This is another reason why discussions about the Vietnamese dong have become increasingly common in recent months. Supply chain shifts around the world have contributed to this interest as well. As global companies diversify manufacturing operations, Vietnam has benefited from increased production activity and export growth. Since a nation's export strength is often linked to currency demand, many traders examine how supply chain changes might influence long-term financial trends. This does not translate to immediate market moves, but it does encourage deeper conversations about the potential impact of continued foreign partnerships. As supply chain restructuring becomes a major global theme, the dong remains part of the broader discussion. The digital trading environment of 2025 has made sentiment analysis more influential than ever. Many traders rely on assessing tone, frequency, and community reactions rather than waiting for formal announcements. When a topic repeatedly appears across multiple groups, traders assume it must be worth exploring. This doesn't imply any guaranteed outcomes, but it does highlight how perception can shape interest. The dong has become a symbol of this phenomenon. Its growing presence online shows how community-driven attention can elevate a currency into widespread conversation, even if its chart movement remains relatively steady. Another point worth examining is the role of preemptive research. Many traders prefer to monitor currencies before significant changes occur. They look for early indicators in economic reports, news coverage, and community discussions. The Vietnamese dong fits into this category because traders see consistent economic activity and want to understand whether long-term trends may eventually emerge. This doesn't mean any specific movement is expected. It simply reflects a research-based approach to observing developing markets. As more people adopt this strategy, the dong remains an active part of global online conversations. Regional economic focus is also relevant. Asia's role in global growth continues to expand, and many traders believe the region will play an increasingly important part in shaping future financial trends. Because Vietnam is developing alongside several other fast-growing Asian economies, its currency naturally draws attention from analysts monitoring regional performance. This broader interest in Asia amplifies discussions around multiple currencies at once, including the dong. As analysts evaluate regional relationships, trade patterns, and economic alliances, they contribute to the dong's ongoing visibility. Transparency in Vietnam's economic reporting helps sustain these conversations. Traders prefer working with data that they can confirm through published reports, verified updates, and reliable sources. When information is accessible, people feel more comfortable analyzing long-term trends. Because Vietnam consistently releases economic indicators and maintains communication with global financial observers, the dong gains additional legitimacy in the eyes of traders. This helps the currency sustain long-term community attention, even in the absence of major market swings. Risk management is another major consideration. Many traders evaluate emerging markets not only for potential growth, but also for perceived stability. Vietnam's steady progress and consistent economic environment make it appealing to those who prefer monitoring currencies with balanced risk profiles. This perception encourages traders to keep the dong on their watch lists, contributing to ongoing discussions as new data emerges. The currency's visibility is therefore reinforced by people who see it as a stable subject for research and long-term observation. Community-driven research adds yet another layer of engagement. Traders frequently share their thoughts, charts, and interpretations with others, forming collective perspectives that influence broader discussions. When enough individuals focus on one currency, it becomes a central topic across multiple groups. This type of collaborative analysis has significantly contributed to the dong's rising visibility. It also demonstrates how quickly attention can grow in online spaces as members build on each other's observations. Institutional monitoring combined with retail attention creates a powerful feedback loop. As both groups observe each other's interest, discussions intensify, and more analysts begin studying the currency's behavior. This alignment between grassroots attention and professional oversight reinforces the idea that the dong is a currency worth watching closely. Even if movements remain gradual, the shared focus strengthens its presence across the trading community. The dong's rise in visibility provides an important example for people following other emerging currencies, such as the Iraqi Dinar. It shows how attention can grow from a combination of economic performance, community participation, social trends, institutional awareness, and market psychology. None of these elements alone would create such widespread focus, but together they form a powerful cycle that shapes modern Forex discussions. Understanding these dynamics helps traders interpret why certain currencies become trending topics, and how collective sentiment influences long-term monitoring patterns. As we look across the entire picture, it becomes clear that the Vietnamese dong's popularity does not come from sudden price movements or dramatic market shifts. Instead, it results from a combination of consistent economic progress, transparent data, online engagement, and psychological factors that guide how traders respond to emerging information. In 2025, these elements interact more closely than ever before, creating cycles of attention that can elevate a currency into global conversation, even with gradual charts. This growing awareness has created ongoing discussions across trading communities worldwide. The dong's example highlights how perception, information sharing, and market psychology shape the modern Forex landscape. It also shows why traders following emerging markets monitor trends beyond their primary currencies, seeking insights into broader global patterns. Understanding these dynamics helps communities recognize how modern discussions form, evolve, and influence the way analysts study currencies across the world.